ghostly figures,
that is insane. Look, it's just disappeared.
eerie captures, and encounters too disturbing to explain. Something isn't right in these clips, and what happened next will leave you shaken. The clip you're walking shows a patient that was supposed to be in critical condition. However, he suddenly stood up on his bed. His arms waved wildly, his movements jerky, almost dreamlike. Nurses rushed in, trying to calm him, but he broke free with a burst of strength no one saw coming. Then, without warning, he began bouncing up and down on the bed, his eyes wide, his face tense, the room filled with the sound of staff shouting, equipment clattering. It took several people to pin him down and sedate him. Later, the footage spread online, and the theories followed. Many swore it wasn't just adrenaline, but something else entirely, something they couldn't explain. Mischievous road ghost. CCTV captured a truly unsettling moment in Sepang, Malaysia on 23rd of April 2025. At around 9:45 p.m., a motorcyclist had to dodge a shadowy figure that appeared out of nowhere in the middle of the road.
Bayangan di pojok kiri.
It was raining quite heavily, but the rider managed to save himself and the passenger. According to the rider, everything suddenly went blurry and dark, and before he realized it, what happened? And there was something else that also got captured in the video. In the top left corner, a dark, shadowy figure can be seen right in front of a house. This mysterious entity slowly walks to the side of the house before vanishing completely. After watching the video, some locals started to believe this incident wasn't just random, and it may have been caused by a supernatural presence that clouded the rider's vision. Twisted crawl. A group of friends were in a dimly lit room that was prepared as they tried using a Ouija board. At first, nothing happened, just quiet giggles and shuffling hands. But then one girl, who had barely spoken all night, began smiling in a slow, unsettling way. Her fingers drifted across her face and hair, almost like she was lost in a trance. Then came the moment that froze everyone. Her body bent at unnatural angles, and she began crawling backwards toward the group. No one in the room could explain what they saw, and no one wanted to stay long enough to find out. Creepy mosque jinn. In this video, a chilling moment was caught on camera. It started with a man casually recording his friends while they were reciting inside a mosque. But unexpectedly, something very strange appeared in the footage. The sudden figure sent shivers down his spine. Look closely. On the upper floor of the mosque, a mysterious figure dressed in black with a pale, eerie white face can be seen just standing there, eerily watching the group. After a short while, the figure slowly walked away, leaving behind an even heavier, more unsettling atmosphere. The man recording was left frozen, covered in goosebumps, unsure of what he had just witnessed. This strange appearance shocked him and raised endless questions, like who or what was that figure?
Weh, apa no weh? Weh, ni.
Tattoo parlor haunting. In the middle of what should have been a normal tattoo session, a security camera inside a parlor picked up something truly unsettling. Two women were sitting in the room when the first strange thing happened.
The table just moved. What the f*** you mean the table just moved?
The table with all the tools began to move all by itself. At first, the women froze, unsure if they'd really just seen that. But before they could even process it, more objects in the room started to move on their own, which really creeped them out. So they left in a hurry, and it's still debated what exactly caused all of this inside the parlor that made it such a spooky moment. Terrifying clip. In July 2025, a Wise security camera inside an Illinois home recorded one of the most unsettling pieces of footage to surface this year. Candace Gardner had fallen asleep on the living room couch, her husband Jensen dozing beside her. Everything was quiet until the moment her leg suddenly lifted into the air and was pulled over her head by invisible force. The footage shows Candace struggling against something she swears wasn't there, while her husband jolts awake in shock, rushing to pull her free from whatever unseen grip had taken hold. For the Gardners, this wasn't just a random twitch or a sleep spasm. They believe it was something darker, an evil presence making itself known inside their home. Haunting of Breckenridge. At Breckenridge Hospital in Texas, two nurses, Linda and Mary, began noticing things that didn't add up. It all started after a patient passed away following an emergency surgery in one of the operating rooms. Since then, the hospital developed a reputation for eerie happenings, especially with the heavy hydraulic doors. These doors are built to only open when the button is pressed and stay open long enough for stretchers to move through. Yet they began opening and closing on their own, sometimes even slamming shut with no warning. Maintenance crews checked them repeatedly.
She gonna slam it on you.
But no faults were ever found. Months later, as the hospital prepared to close down, Linda kept working there. One night during a break, she decided to explore the lower level and recorded something unsettling. On a bulletin board reflection, a figure in a white lab coat appeared to walk past, yet she was completely alone. Almost immediately, Linda felt lightheaded and uneasy.
Oh, I just got dizzy, and I don't know why.
Forcing her to leave the building. Staff who worked there believe the strange activity started ever since that patient passed away and never stopped. Strange train scene. A strange moment caught on a subway camera had commuters looking uneasy. A man suddenly dropped face down on the floor and started shaking his head in quick, jerky movements while making odd rasping sounds. Then, without moving his arms from his sides, he began wriggling and crawling forward in a stiff, unnatural way. Moments later, he stood up again, continuing the same strange routine while letting out more unsettling noises. People nearby watched but kept their distance, unsure of what they were seeing. Some guessed he might have been under the influence of something, while others quietly suggested it could have been something far stranger. Unexplained store activities. This video comes from a man named Damien, who works the night shift at a supermarket somewhere in Tennessee. He never revealed the name because of what happened to him, and he doesn't want anyone else to go through that. One night he heard a strange sound and pulled out his phone to record.
Como si fuese un despertador. Yo estoy acá completamente solo.
From inside a brand new, still-sealed packet, an alarm sound could be heard.
¿Y por qué?
Not long after, more strange noises echoed through one of the aisles. When Damien checked, he found toothbrushes scattered on the floor and assumed that must have been the source.
Se desmueven algunas. ¿Quién lo habrá tirado?
But a few nights later, things escalated. Grocery items began falling on their own.
Bueno.
A trolley rolled across the aisle by itself, and even the blue overhead light flickered as if something unseen was moving through. On another shift, Damien decided to bring his dog for company. Almost immediately, the dog became restless, staring down an empty aisle and barking non-stop as though something was standing there. Now Damien is convinced the supermarket is haunted and that his dog can see whatever presence lingers in the building after dark. Eerie pool figure. A family gathering was taking place in the city of Mar del Plata, Argentina, on 24th of April, 2025, when one of the relatives wanted to capture the moment on camera. As this relative panned their camera, something unsettling came into view. By the poolside, there was a mysterious yet eerie figure standing completely still, looking at the family. Now the most obvious of answers could be that they were one of the guests, but this person's behavior seemed odd. Not only were they still, but their face and attire didn't match. It does look like this eerie pool figure was saying something because their mouth was moving. This bizarre detail unnerved the person recording so much that they immediately stopped filming, leaving the eerie moment unexplained. Chilling bedroom footage. In this chilling footage from a haunted home, a woman was in her bed scrolling through her phone when a terrifying entity that cannot be seen in the camera crawled into her bed and moved the blanket. This instantly got a reaction from the woman as she was utterly shocked by what just happened right next to her. Some viewers even pointed out that the pillow moved slightly, as if someone laid down their head on it. This made people believe that it was indeed a ghost who may have attached itself with the woman, hence why it got into bed like a human being. Leaping road figure. A driver delivering goods to a customer experienced something he could hardly believe. While on the road, he noticed something strange on the roadside. Later, after reviewing his dashcam footage, he realized the bizarre moment had been captured clearly. In the recording, a strange white figure appears at the edge of the road. Though its form isn't entirely clear, the way it moved was unmistakable. It seemed to leap unnaturally from one spot to another, covering long distances in a single jump. The driver was left stunned, unsure of what he had just witnessed. Was it a ghostly presence, or perhaps something else entirely? Whatever it was, the mysterious figure caught on camera remains an unexplained and chilling sight. Haunted workplace. In this clip, a man experiences a terrifying moment while filming inside a house believed to be his workplace in Indonesia. As he records the interior, something suddenly catches him off guard. When he turns the camera toward the area near the bathroom, a figure can be seen peeking out from behind the door. The figure resembles a pocong, a ghost from Indonesian folklore, clearly visible as it stares out from the shadows. The appearance instantly shifts the atmosphere, making the scene feel heavy and unsettling. To this day, it's unclear whether the encounter was real or staged by the man himself. Either way, the footage has left viewers both spooked and deeply curious. Fence Phantom. Late one night, a home security camera picked up something odd in the backyard. Near the fence, a dark, shadowy figure darted across the frame. It didn't move like a person. It flickered in and out, its shape twisting in ways that didn't make sense. One second it was there, the next it was gone. Neighbors tried to make sense of it, but no one could agree on what they'd just seen. Creepy, unidentified creature. From across the street, a resident caught sight of something deeply unsettling. On the pavement below, a humanoid creature was crouched, moving in a strange dance as if nothing else around it mattered. Its limbs twisted unnaturally, bending in ways that no human body should. Even from a distance, it looked wrong. Its skin was too smooth, and its proportions were off, almost like it was wearing a body that didn't quite fit. Zooming in only made the scene creepier. This strange, otherworldly figure didn't just look out of place, it looked like it didn't belong on Earth at all. Tunnel apparition. A dashcam clip shared to Reddit by user. Available time 7293 quickly gained attention after showing what looks like a ghostly figure on the road. The footage starts out normal, with a car exiting a tunnel at night, but just as the vehicle emerges, it appears to drive straight through a translucent, human-shaped figure standing in its path. The driver continues on without reacting, as if nothing was there at all. Viewers were quick to debate the eerie moment, some claiming it's a genuine paranormal capture. Since the quality of the video isn't that great, the exact nature of what was caught by this dash cam remains unknown. Mist at the window. Around 2, a.m., a man noticed his porch light was on and his front door, normally locked, was unlocked and opened. The next morning, he checked with a neighbor who pulled up footage from their own camera. It showed lights switching on by themselves, followed by a streak of white mist gliding past a side window. The strange thing? There was no path outside that window for anyone to walk. Silent visitor. The man had been live on Instagram, casually chatting with his viewers like he always did. At first, nothing seemed out of the ordinary. Then, the comments started rolling in. People kept insisting there was someone standing right behind him. He didn't react immediately, but when he finally looked at his screen, his face shifted. Just over his shoulder, a faint, girl-like face appeared. He froze, saying nothing, as if moving might make it worse. The moment passed quickly, but the unsettling image stayed with everyone who saw it. Wide-eyed stranger. A woman was sitting in her car when a stranger walked up and started talking in a slow, unsettling tone.
He apologized.
Yeah, I know. And you know what? That didn't upset me.
But it wasn't her words that froze the driver. It was her face. Her eyes seemed unnaturally wide, almost bulging, giving her an eerie, doll-like stare. Clips of the encounter spread online, with some comparing her to Chucky from Child's Play. A few thought it could be a medical issue, but others suspected something far more sinister, hinting at curses or even possession. Whatever the truth, the moment left the driver rattled and viewers deeply unsettled.
Sorry.
I told you to calm down.
Street witch sighting. Late one night, a man made his way home along a quiet, empty road. In the distance, he noticed a woman sitting right in the middle of the street. Concerned, he stepped closer until she slowly turned her head toward him. Her skin was an unsettling shade of orange, her hair tangled into wild knots, and the way she moved was jerky, almost unnatural. The sight froze him in place. Some online swore he had crossed paths with a witch trying to frighten him, while others dismissed it as someone in a mask playing a twisted joke. Whatever it was, it's the kind of moment that makes you rethink walking alone at night. Cemetery encounter. In 2024, an American man decided to explore an abandoned area alone and ended up walking into a nightmare. Near a cemetery in Georgetown, Malaysia, his flashlight landed on a woman in a flowing red dress.
Another one there again. What is that?
Her face had a strange red mark shaped like a tick, and her eyes looked inhuman, pure white, with pupils so wide they almost swallowed her gaze. She didn't move, just sat there in total stillness. Then, from the dark behind him, another figure lunged forward, coming right on to the cameraman. Although the footage did get cut off right here, an unknown source mentioned they saw a weary, English-speaking white man walking aimlessly in the same town. But that was never substantiated. Smiling predator. In 2020, a man with an unsettling look was caught on camera. At first, nothing seemed unusual. He blended in like any other passerby, but when the camera zoomed in, his teeth told a different story. They were long, sharp, and almost animal-like, flashing as he gave an eerie smile. And this is where it got creepier, because after this video was posted on YouTube, few other clips emerged showing similar incidents that remain unexplained. Since this didn't look like a camera glitch, some conspiracy theorists claimed these videos are proof of reptilian shapeshifters, saying the teeth were a slip in their human disguise. Sky jellyfish. While driving through Massachusetts, a man spotted something strange floating above him, a glowing white object shaped like a jellyfish. What made it even more bizarre was the soft aura around it, with long glowing strands drifting beneath, almost like tentacles. These so-called jellyfish UFOs have been reported in different places, always moving slowly across the sky. Skeptics suggested this one was just a kite or weather balloon, but zoomed-in footage shows no strings or structure holding it up. The glowing parts shift and move on their own, and the object drifts freely, untethered. So if it wasn't a kite, then what exactly was this flying tentacled jellyfish-like entity in the sky? Dating tape horror. This unsettling clip comes from an old dating tape recorded sometime in the 80s. At first, it's just a middle-aged man named Tony trying to introduce himself to the camera.
Hi, I'm Tony. I'm 36 years of age.
But right away, something feels off. In the background, faint, muffled noises can be heard, almost like someone trying to speak through a gag. Tony's smile quickly fades. He snaps, yelling at whoever's making the noise. Moments later, he reappears in a different shirt, calmer, or at least pretending to be. He tries to start fresh, but halfway through, he loses his temper again. Viewers who stumbled across this footage began speculating about what was really going on in that house. Some even believed Tony had someone trapped there, and that the noises were allegedly coming from one of those people. Occult broadcast. August 2021, viewers across several regions were watching a normal live news broadcast when the screen suddenly changed. For a few seconds, the feed cut to something completely unrelated and deeply unsettling. On screen was a dimly lit room where several hooded figures stood in a circle, performing what looked like a ritual. Candles lined the floor, shadows swaying along the walls. The strangest part wasn't just the content, it was the fact that there were cameras in the room, filming it as if it were meant to be seen. Theories spread fast. Some claimed it was proof that hidden forces operate in plain sight. Others believed it was a slip-up, that the footage was meant to flash for less than a second, but accidentally stayed long enough for people to catch it. 4-armed horror. Late-night trips into the woods aren't usually this terrifying. A small group was exploring under the cover of darkness when they suddenly spotted something unnatural watching them. Its face was ghostly white, framed by long, tangled gray hair. But what froze them in place wasn't just its face. It had 4 arms. The creature stood still at first, glaring at them, then tilted its head in a slow, unnerving motion before letting out a piercing screech. All 4 arms stretched outward as it inched forward, as if ready to grab. That was all the push they needed. They bolted into the darkness, leaving the thing behind. Crawling intruder. A couple of guys were having fun on their porch when a homeless man came to them asking for help. Or so they thought. It was a random stranger that was trying to interrupt them, but this is what their phone captured. This shadowy figure was crawling, which should have been the first and only red flag. They needed to get out of there, and it was moving very strangely as if it hadn't yet learned to walk. But the way it vanished, no human can do something like this, and it's frightening. Creeper in bedroom. A man was home alone, talking to a friend over FaceTime, when he noticed his door shifting slightly, like someone was easing it open from the other side.
What? No, stop.
He stepped into the hallway, but it was completely empty. As he turned back, another door inside the house opened and closed on its own. Moments later, small objects nearby began to move. His friend watched the whole thing happen live through the call, and neither of them had any idea what they'd just witnessed.
Julie, you're f***ing lying. You're f***ing lying. Oh!
Mysterious cave dweller. A man named Jacob was out dirt biking on a forest trail when he came across some unusual rock formations. As he looked closer, he noticed a trail of remains scattered along the ground. Curious, he decided to follow them.
Yeah, I can see some stuff up here by these rock formations.
And that's when things took a chilling turn. The trail led him to a small cave entrance, and from inside, he heard a faint, eerie voice calling for help.
Why is that?
Help! Startled, Jacob backed away, but then tossed one of the remains into the cave. A few seconds later, someone threw it back outside. Not wanting to push his luck, Jacob quickly left the area.
What the? Yep, nope, I'm good.
Abandoning even a motorbike